Grace and peace, beautiful people. Grace and peace. I hope all is well with whatever type of day that you're having today. It's Thursday, baby. It's about that time again to get into the particulars. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. For those of you who are already subscribed, you already know that I appreciate y'all. It keeps me motivated to maintain staying out the matrix, if you understand where I'm coming from. Some people not going to understand what that means, but hopefully these messages give you a different thought. I believe that I've been created to come into your world and create positive change and help you to get out of those particular life cycles that you're experiencing. I hope all is well with y'all again. How y'all doing? You heard, man. This one gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. I've been thinking about this one all morning, and I'm just getting the opportunity to come in and drop the information. Today's lesson is gonna be about those characters in your story. The day that you were born, however many years ago, you met the first two main characters. Some people didn't get the chance to meet both characters, but strategically, if you think about it, those two main characters within your story is is the reason why you think the way that you think. Okay, let me let you soak that in a little bit. The two main characters in your story is the reason why you think the way that you think. Let me tell you about those particular characters. Within those characters create what I consider as drones. You trying to figure out what I mean that's considered as drones? If you think about it, those two main characters play a very significant role within your life. All your beliefs, all your activities, the things that you probably still do now that you don't even think of because it's in your subconscious. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like going to work. Like, let's say, for instance, today is Thursday. Someone somewhere is going to start a job, well, for the first time, which they started earlier this morning. Now, depending on what their mindset is going to be on behalf of how long it takes them to figure that particular position out. Let's say 6 months to a year. Whenever that particular point comes and they learn the particular position to where they can't teach them anything else, is when they just start to exist within that particular position. So let's go back. So just think about it. Your two main characters in your story created you into a drone. That particular drone does whatever it is that you tell it to do. If you have the remote control, those two main characters had your remote control. Now, strategically, if you think about those two main characters, there were certain things that you were taught at the beginning, like Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy, to the point to where once you realized that there was no reality within those three other characters, strategically, somehow you taught your children that same thing. Now, watch the mindset. I believe that the devil doesn't have to touch certain families because he knows that the older generation will always talk the next generation out of the promise. So, before you get mad, hold on. Let's keep on going. Those two main characters, depending on when it was, well, you can't say depending on when it was that you was growing up, you was getting information from a whole nother different life cycle. Now, in that life cycle, who were they raised by? What was those years that those individuals was obtaining those particular types of information? Now, every particular family seems to have what's considered as these quote unquote family secrets. So let's say the family secret was, I'm not going to tell nobody what it is that I'm going through. And then some way, somehow, you got to that same situation, that point in life where you believe that your story doesn't have any type of magnitude or it can help anybody because it was just only you that went through that and nobody else. People, that's the wrong particular mindset to have, especially within this season. That's another reason why when, let's say, for instance, somebody reach out to you about a business idea, you immediately do exactly what people before you have done, or you'll come up with the fad of, oh no, my family, we don't do this. Nobody in my family ever did this before, and all this other stuff. You're what's considered as neutralizing your uniqueness in that particular moment, especially if you basically, I'm going to get you to understand. I'm trying to give you different situations to understand. You basically rather continue to work to build someone else's dream to where when it comes to your dream, you don't even think about that because there's strategically certain things that you want to do before you commit to a particular business idea. But some way, somehow, every year in December, like around after Christmas time, is when you start to talk about this next year going to be my year. You were strategically created to be a drone. And it's so unfortunate because the world is a beautiful place, but at the same time, you allow certain things to keep you on the bench and only watch other people win. I hope y'all drinking your water this morning. Let me hit my juice right quick. Definitely don't think that I'm pointing fingers because I came from the same situation as well. You know what I'm saying? Think about it like this. There's certain things that happens in the matrix that keeps a whole lot of families in the matrix, and nobody want to be the one to step out and change the particular narrative for the family. Is there a question? Yes, there is a question. Watch this. The pandemic just happened. Some way, somehow, every one of your family members that happened to pass, you decided to post it on social media. Okay? Now, you still seem to not see the actual value of getting into a health business. Why not be the one to change the trajectory of the family by obtaining a particular health business to help your particular family to stick around however long they got to stick around? Because at the end of the day, you got to think, the day that you were born is the day you started to die. Every tombstone got their start date, the end, and an end date, but they got a dash in the middle. That dash supposed to represent life. Is what you're doing right now, is that representing life? It's going to represent life to you, but at the same time, it's not going to represent life to others. Because just like we mentioned on yesterday, passing by or going to a homegoing service, at some point you're going to find yourself in the cemetery. You're looking around at all these particular sites, you know what I'm saying, these burial sites or whatnot, and you're like, man, I wonder what kind of life this person lived, what kind of life that person lived. I believe it was earlier in the week, I mentioned about, it was a topic of you worrying about what people say about you while you're alive. So think about the stuff that they say once you're gone. Oh, she was a beautiful soul and this and that. And then that's it. Just like, for instance, when someone passed, when someone transitioned, it's only a certain amount of time before life goes on. Life really started going on as soon as they end up transitioning. But strategically, if you think, the subconscious mind is always going to keep you in that particular thought. That's just like we was talking about yesterday. The ego, that particular ego gonna always replay everything that you've been through within that ego. And as long as you operating out of your ego, you're going to always miss the next opportunity because you're not living in the now. Think about it, like I mentioned, maybe in that message too, how I said there's people that still haven't experienced the pandemic because Big Mama died in 2019. Is it all starting to make sense now? That's the reason why I somewhat talk in parables, but at the same time, I'm always going to give you another understanding of it because that's the way everything works in here. You know what I'm saying? I've been designed, I've been wired a certain way. And what's interesting about that is, it's been, everything has happened was in preparation for other things to happen. So just like I've mentioned, what's one of the other ones? Life is like Tetris. When you fit in, you disappear. If everybody is doing the same thing in your family, everybody's thinking the same way in your family, to the point to where, if you think about it, some of y'all are in toxic relationships, but you're not going to get out of that toxic relationship because you're trying to be, what's the word we can say? You're trying to be loyal to the wrong things. Just like, for instance, some people say, I don't want to be like my mama. I don't want to be like my daddy. Well, it's a chance that you're operating in that same situation that your mom operated in, but at the same time, you couldn't understand it back then because that's what those family secrets was about. All they said was certain slogans. Papa was a Rolling Stone, or and mama didn't say like spirits attract. I think I said that in like a previous message before. So think about it. They say that Papa was a Rolling Stone. Let's go a little deeper than that. However you feel about your father, it's a chance that your mother ran him off. But you'll never be able to see that because you see her as that main character. You're not seeing her as a woman with faults. Same thing with your dad. They sowed the seed within you. Like every woman to say, I'll never talk down about your daddy and all this other stuff. Cool. But at the same time, how did that man then get a chance to see you? Or vice versa, the other way around. It's a whole lot of different situations, but strategically, each one of those situations, what's this? The world spins on an axis, okay? So what goes around, it comes around. So how I can get you to understand it is the things that they've experienced whenever you was an adolescent couldn't have the mindset to understand strategically later on in life. Once you got the opportunity to get into relationships or get into serious relationships, some way, somehow, something happened. And that something happened was basically a lesson to give you the understanding of what you couldn't understand whenever you was a baby, coming up, or whatever the situation is. Is it starting to make sense? Now, I hope I'm helping somebody. I got a feeling that somebody like, wow, you know what? I never thought about it like that. And that's how it works. Every single thing in this life is a lesson. Every day is a pop quiz. But as I mentioned, not everybody's testing. So how many particular relationships, how many toxic relationships? This is the reason why you get into toxic relationships. Well, not only because they taught you to believe that, there's good in everybody. No, that's not good in everybody. There is some good in everybody, but some people hold certain spirits that's not good for your particular life cycle. Now, you may be holding on to this particular individual for X amount of years, and now you done got to the point to where it's basically a situation of convenience. That's how we can say it. It's a situation of convenience because it's a chance that you had all the babies and he's been taking care of all the bills, and now you're starting to feel this particular way, but you know that if you decide to walk away from that situation, it's going to be, well, what will I do? How will I, make ends meet and all this other stuff. So you're not only wasting more of your time, but you're not even thinking beyond you. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. I know a lot of cats. I know a lot of cats that, they didn't let their woman work. Or I know a lot of females that didn't let that man work. And in that particular situation, within that time that they was just not working, what they was doing or what you was doing, binge watching everything. You got to think about it. You sitting there watching all this stuff, but them people already made their money. They ain't got no check coming to your house. Then there's a situation where somewhere you get lucky and somebody get into your inbox and try to basically put a business idea in your face. And then you supposedly go through chain of command, which you already know that you're not happy. You're going to go through chain of command and let me talk to my husband about it. Let me talk to my boyfriend about it. Well, guess what? Your boyfriend or your husband may not have that interest in recreating the narrative, because that's me as far as a business owner. There's been plenty of times I'll reach out to married women and they'll say, let me talk to my husband about it. Well, guess what, ladies? A man is not trying to hear nothing about another man trying to help his family. Some of them don't have, we wasn't wired like that. You know what I'm saying? We was not wired like that. They only told us to protect and provide. Anything outside of that, because when you think of that, when you start to allow God into your thoughts, you know what I'm saying, you got to think there's a lot of stuff that you got way down deep that nobody even know about. Even the current person that you with, he don't know nothing about it. And he'll see different shades of it. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you get mad or whenever he get mad, you'll see certain shades of it. But strategically, you never asked that man what was his story. You never asked him how was he raised. You only went off of, oh, his family loved me and this and that and all that. No, baby, you got to find out what life cycle you're adding yourself to, because strategically, you have a life cycle as well. What are you adding him to? You know what I'm saying? It can go a whole lot of different ways, but at the same time, it's going to all fall down to the lesson. You know what I'm saying? Just like I mentioned on yesterday about, you know what I'm saying? Basically, what was it that we was talking? I talk about so much stuff. Lord have mercy. I talk to people. Anyway, I'm going to leave that portion alone. Y'all have to go back and watch that. Here's the situation. This is all I want to ask you, because I'm only focused on the two main characters. This will be like 3, 4, 5 parts, because I want you to really see what it is that you allowed the two main characters to actually produce through you. But here's the deal. Where is your happiness? Because if we was to have a conversation, a one-on-one conversation, I would ask you if you was happy. And you would probably think about it. And then you would tell me, yeah, just to hurry me out the conversation. When you know that you're miserable, you go home, you go to work to come home to be miserable. And the reason why you go home to come back to be miserable is because you've been doing stuff all day that you don't want to do. 1, you go work a job that you don't want to do. 2, you're in a relationship that you have no interest in no more. And 3, you can't stand the life that you live in, but you can't tell nobody around you because you feel like they won't understand. My baby, please think about it. Everybody's going through something, one way or another. But at the same time, within that going through, that's stuff that you're not willing to pass. That's stuff that your family is not willing to pass either. That's stuff that your main characters wasn't willing to pass either, because guess what? They passed that on to you. any type of life cycle that they've been in, just like for instance, watch this. Within, yeah, as you already know, my mom died. I'm at the 20-minute mark. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna come back again. I'm gonna leave it alone because I'm trying to respect everybody's time. Hopefully, there was something that was said within this message that's going to project you and have you to see certain things in a different way. We absolutely love our parents, but strategically, we got to understand, now we're parents. Are we still doing the same things that they was doing? That's how the cycle continues. You heard me? But figure out, where is your happiness? You heard me? Let's go back 3 relationships ago. Each one of them relationships, three, two, one. All those relationships, you said you was happy, you wasn't happy, then you was happy single again, then you got another relationship, then you was